The Mayan civilization has many mysteries surrounding it, from their mysterious gods to their ritualistic practices to their sudden disappearance. These reasons have made them important subjects of research over many years, and these researches have brought many practices of the Mayan civilization to light. However, there are still many odd, creepy, and outright baffling facts about the civilization you may not know. Welcome to Crazy Histories, where we bring you the craziest, weirdest facts from human history. Join us today as we look at the shocking, weird things that were normal for the Mayans. Saunas were a way to the underworld. One aspect of Mayan culture that doesn't seem intriguing at first is having sauna rooms known as steam or sweat baths. These baths would be used for health reasons and for religious purification as well. Sweat baths do not seem like anything that interesting. To this day, many will agree that there are health benefits to using the sauna. However, these baths were so interesting because the Mayans considered them a gateway to the underworld. In other words, the Mayans would use these baths to talk to their dead relatives and become one with the afterlife. Maybe they saw it as a form of meditation where they communicated with their ancestors. We shouldn't have to tell you that if you have been in the sauna for so long, you feel the afterlife pulling you in. You should probably get out. Sacrifices. In ancient civilizations, blood sacrifices are quite reoccurring. The belief was that the gods above wanted an offering, and they would not be satisfied until some blood spilled. Mayan civilizations would typically sacrifice prisoners. However, the prisoners tended to be high-class POW. Think of a leader of a warring tribe. What about a plebeian who stole some bread? Well, they were used as labor. But a terrifying occurrence frequently occurred when there were no prisoners to sacrifice. In this instance, one member of the society would be selected to be the sacrifice. This could be anyone, including priests, high chiefs, women, or even children. Mayans participate in ritualistic sacrifice to this day, but they now use chickens and other animals. Society's standards may have changed, but the gods always need an offering. No blue paint. Now, let's move toward home furnishings with our next weird fact that was considered normal in their civilization. Some of us love to accent our rooms with blue paint, but the Mayans didn't like it. Mayans had blue paint, but they weren't decorating their homes with it. Instead, they would use blue to enhance their sacrifices to Chaac, the god of rain and storms. The color blue tends to have an association with rain, so that makes sense, but they would not paint the ritual room blue. Instead, the sacrifice would be painted blue to please Chaac. Blue held an important place in the Mayan culture and was only used ceremonially. As such, if someone was seen using blue paint as a decoration for their household, they would be sacrificed to the sun god. This would involve taking the person to the highest sacrifice stone and having their heart cut out of their body while they were still alive. They sharpened their teeth. The idea of sharp teeth being sexy is still around today. How many people are thirsty for vampires after all? But the Mayans, believing sharp teeth to be peak beauty standards, took it to the whole another level. Some of them would sharpen their teeth as a way to show class and beauty. Taking the only teeth you have and filing them down until it's sharp is not our thing, but they seem to enjoy it. Other than for beauty, they sharpened their teeth as a weapon, so that they could be used in battle whenever they went to war. Inspecting a Mayan battlefield, you would see bite marks on the skulls of the fallen soldiers, showing that he was a most likely bit to death. They made children cross-eyed. Like big noses, being cross-eyed is a trait that is considered undesirable nowadays, but was considered a symbol of beauty back in the Mayan times. One reason for their love of cross-eyed people is that the sun god Kinish Aha was cross-eyed, and humans wanting to become closer to gods is nothing new. On its surface, there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, we do love how the Mayans embraced loving what society nowadays considers to be imperfections. But making children cross-eyed is something we have to question. Yes, being cross-eyed was a noble symbol, and noble families would make their children cross-eyed. How they did this was they would dangle an object in front of a newborn's eyes until they became permanently cross-eyed. It was very strange but considered normal fashion statements back in the day. Jewelry in their teeth. What other crazy things did the Mayans do to their bodies? Well, let's look at another creepy thing that the Mayans did. Teeth jewelry is still seen to this day. Who hasn't seen someone with a shiny grill in their mouth? However, the Mayans took it to the next level. One symbol of beauty and the high class was to drill holes in someone's teeth and put jewels in those holes. A shining mouth was a symbol of wealth in Mayan civilization. Look, we love shiny teeth, but we are not going to take it that far. This was considered a fashion statement for those of a higher rank. The reason for this was because it was used to add color and style to their lives. Some of the jewels that they used included quartz, hematite, and cinnabar. Sometimes, they'd even pair these with the fang teeth they also loved to the sport. You still see this in our society today. Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, Lil Baby, and Young Thug sported these fancy teeth adornments, which is similar to what the Mayans did in the past, changing baby skulls. Mayan beauty standards did not just include cross eyes and big noses, but its skulls as well. The belief was that an elongated shape was the standard of beauty. How did they do this though? Well, the ancient Mayans would take their babies and press their foreheads to alter their skulls. How would they do this? By putting a plank of wood against their skulls, of course. Like other beauty standards, this was a symbol of the elite. According to this civilization, if you were not altering your child's head shape, you were a plebeian. We should not have to say this, but do not press its skull if you see a baby. The skull in their head is fine as it is. Not to mention, babies are fragile creatures. They got high off butt juice. Consuming a bunch of drugs and talking to spirits beyond the human realm is nothing new. Psychedelics have been one way we try to escape from this plane of reality and move on to something bigger. Just like us, Mayans had ways of being high. They would drink bauch, which comes from fermented honey. Bauch can get you mildly intoxicated. However, the weird part comes from the fact that the Mayans were but chuggers. That's right. The ancient Mayans would take alcohol and other psychedelics and put them through their rectum. Having an ethanol enema is a scientifically valid way to get drunk faster. For one thing, your body absorbs it directly through the bloodstream, and one cannot vomit it out. However, because of that, alcoholic enemas can be dangerous. It's much easier to have too much alcohol to the point of death if you take this route. So please, when you have a few drinks, put them in your mouth, please. They suddenly disappeared. The Mayan Empire, like all empires, came to an end eventually. The weird part about it? No one knows how it happened. When something unknown occurs, it can make the imagination run a little wild. However, the more rational speculation is that the usual contenders, such as overpopulation, famine, and changes in the climate, are the reasons for their downfall. When resources became scarce, villages would battle each other for the sake of a few extra grains. Now, with that said, it wasn't some ancient aliens zapping them away or an apocalyptic event. So please take off your tinfoil hats. We know it took over 200 years for the death of their civilization to happen. In many cases, the end is not sudden. It's gradual. In fact, you may be living in the end times of your country and not know it yet. There's some food for thought. With all that has been said, which practice was the most shocking in your opinion? Would you like to have lived with the ancient Mayans? Which ancient civilization would you want us to cover next? Tell me your answers down in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also hit the bell as well so you don't miss any video, cause we have a lot more interesting things to come. See you soon.